Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this 15th round of the SimRacingHub F1 Championship live on GTCQ TV, sponsored by Color Magic Printing. Fast turnaround that you can depend on, and great imagery. I got to thank them later for something they sent me. I'll talk about that. Leading the championship back on top, Argenis Riera, leading by 7 points over Josh Mills. Got back the lead of the championship after a few rounds that he had some mishaps, but now he's back on top of the championship with only 4 rounds to go. Josh Mills, of course, second place for the Red Bull team, 7 points behind. So this is a really slim margin. This is not over, and there's going to be a lot of action between these two protagonists tonight. Also, Janos Magasrevi really strong for the Mercedes team in third position, really well sat there with 192 points, so about 100 points behind Josh Mills. He's in no man's land. I don't think he's going to be reachable by the McLaren driver of Glenn Cooper and even Otto Acosta in fourth and fifth position. Then Zeke Montero, Janos Magasrevi's teammate in sixth position, really strong, our ringer in the beginning of the season, now strictly with the Mercedes team, really strong, coming back in the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship, really helpful, as well as Richard Walcott in seventh, Jean-Pierre Lalancette in eighth position, followed by Richard Haney and Bill Worrell for the Ferrari team, wrapping up the top 10 for the SimRacingHub F1 2024 Championship. We are at Singapore. I'm François Goulet, your host tonight. Unfortunately, I'm still alone tonight. My co-host Matt Hartley is stuck in Winnipeg, of all places, so he cannot be with us tonight. But we'll have a really great race at Singapore. Our drivers won't have that super hot temperature to deal with, although it's going to be a really tough race for them, because I heard fuel is going to be an issue, rear tire wear is going to be an issue. So this should be interesting. Also, it's a track that resembles a lot Baku that we had 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot of tricks and traps there, so they really have to be focused for a mere 1 3/4 hours, because usually that Grand Prix is pretty long, but we always have to deal with a safety car. We don't have to deal with that in the SimRacingHub F1. So this race should last about an hour and a half to almost an hour and 3/4. So a lot of walls, a track that is faster, I would say, than Baku for the corners, although it does not have a straight line like Baku, so it's going to be pretty hard to overtake here, although the tire strategies might come into play. They added another DRS zone this year on the real Formula One Championship, and according to the map I have on the SimRacingHub F1 webpage, there's that fourth DRS zone that's going to be available right after, I'm looking at it, number 14. So after turn 14, that second DRS zone still will be triggered by the same detection zone that the previous one, so you can set up your car in the previous DRS and then try to make that overtake between 14 and 16. So 4 rounds to go, real close in the championship. We have seen an Argenis Riera really on top of his game so far. Josh Mills is always there, sometimes dealing with unusual strategies to make things work. And from the mishaps that Argenis Riera had by a disconnection and also an incident, he really bounced back. So it's going to be hard for Mills to cope with that. But if there's somebody who can do it, it's going to be Josh Mills. It's the 6th time in the SimRacingHub Championship that they have raced here, although this race has been on the calendar for a mere not exactly 20 years, but let's say 16. And so I'm pretty surprised that it's just there 6 times. And I heard that my usual co-host, Matt Hartley, he raced here before, although I had some thoughts about him. He's not here tonight, so we cannot really laugh at him, but, we're going to have a laugh at him, even if he's not here. So He qualified 13th and finished 10th. Like, 10th is not his favorite position. We all know his favorite position is 11th, where there's no points. So he was almost at his right spot. So going into the race, I'm watching the warm-ups right now, and I saw Janos Magasrivi brushing the wall already. So these guys are pushing hard. And I heard from somebody, I'm not going to tell you who, because, I don't want to spoil his strategy. But there should be maybe 2 or 3 stops for them, which is unusual because that's not what we saw in real life. And sometimes it's fine. It's really nice to compare the real F1 calendar from the simulation that we have here. I would like to just make a little addenda on our sponsor, Color Magic Printing. As I said the other week, I browsed on their website, but I really want to thank them because they sent me a real nice piece of memorabilia for this season. I cannot show it to you right now because it's quite big and there's some greenish colors on it, so it would not render very well on the screen. Although I'm going to put it on my race wall and I'm going to show you a picture. It's a really nice piece, custom made, really unique. I got the 3 layouts of the 3 next races, which are Austin, Mexico, and Brazil. So COTA, Autodromo Carlos Pache, and Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. So thanks a lot for Color Magic Printing for sending me this. Thank you, Sean Higgins, and thank you, Janos, for making that work. Seriously, if you guys like racing memorabilia and you want to have a really unique piece, you just send them a picture that you want them to print on anything, and you can put it on your wall. I have a lot of little ideas here that I really want to make that work, and send it to him and make some posters of my own to have unique pieces. And it's always fun to have something unique in your playroom, race room, game room, men cave, whatever. So now it's already 21:11, so we have our qualification in 4 minutes. I don't know if we have a lot of people on the live. I'm gonna go see that in a few minutes when I'm done with the introduction. So personally, Singapore, nice racetrack, been on the calendar since 2008. It's not a secret. A lot of people that knows me knows that, but it's the track that made me love F1 again, because I actually quit watching F1 between 2005 and 2008, and I was in a trip in France, and I had nothing to do on a Sunday. Guess what? Grand Prix racing. French channel, Singapore, never seen that track, didn't know it existed, and then I saw a great spectacle unfold before my eyes. I discovered Sebastian Vettel. He was for Toro Rosso, and who knew what kind of drama that was unfolding before my eyes when Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed his car that we all know as the Crash Gate now. That's when I really got back into F1, so I got a little hard, I'm a little bit attached to that circuit just because of that particular event. Not the Crash Gate, the 2008 Grand Prix, that is. So 19 corners for that circuit. They tried to improve the racing in it by just removing some corners and just changing the layout. And it's good because it used to be 24 corners. Now it's just 19, a little bit faster. Still, I think they could improve that for the real racing. I think tonight we're going to have a better race that we had in real life. Our producer, Jas, you can say hi to Jas. You don't see him, but he's here. He's choosing all the images that you see. Our producer, Jas, commented a race last Sunday, and he told me that the race was really good. And on the same platform, RFactor2 on the computer, just not the same league. A few same drivers, though. And I see right now on the track, we have 21 drivers. Sometimes we have 18. There's supposed to be 20 max. So who's that 21st driver that's not supposed to be here? We'll figure it out. There might be a replacement that was here to cope with someone that wouldn't be here. Although 21 drivers, that means probably the driver showed up. That's good with that. Now we're 2 minutes away from the quali. So in the live, if you're here, I would like to hear what are your predictions for the qualification, because we know that Riera is more than often in control of his Aston Martin. Very stable car, almost too perfect of a setup. I mean, when we watch him drive, it's really hard to pinpoint, much mistakes. But the thing that can happen in this particular race is just you brush a wall too close and then you're done. So it's going to be fun to see who's going to push the most and who can take advantage of taking more risks. Also, about that track, there's a really short line between the start and the first corner. Before we go there, we can talk about the Drivers' Championship because it's pretty tight now. I mean, not as tight as the Drivers' Championship, but the Constructors' Championship, sorry. Everybody's in reach. So we got Red Bull Racing in first position with 363 points. The thing is, they're only 65 points ahead of Aston Martin. We all know that Riera is the only point scorer of that team, but if something happens to the Red Bull team, this could flip pretty easily because every race there's, let's say, 50, and I don't know if there's a point for the constructor for the fastest lap, though, maybe, but there's 50 points. Well, no, sorry. A little less than 50 points up for grabs for a team if they score really well. So this can flip pretty easily. So Red Bull Racing's in first position, 65 points in front of Aston Martin. Then Mercedes is a mere 38 points. Sorry, am I saying that right? All right, good. So 38 points behind Aston Martin. With 260 points, so that's really, really close for them. And McLaren F1 team is 222, so another 38 points behind. These three teams are within reach of each other, so this should be interesting. And in fifth position, you got Scuderia Ferrari with 128 points. So they're not in the mix for this, but for the second, for any spot, because everybody can reach the team on top of them. So it's anybody's game still at that moment in the season. So now we are 21-16, and I think we're on the outlaps of the qualification. I'll try to go on board with Argenis Riera. 20 drivers on track right now. Glad to see everybody back. Elise Tape is here. I think he might have missed a race last time around. We got our usual suspect. Darren Fisher is here, I think, in a replacement for the Haas team. That is right. And I'm on board with Argenis Riera. I think that's what most people want to see, as well as what can Mills do. And this is the last corner, so Riera hard on the gas right now, starting a hot lap. So these sequences of corner really tight, slowly going, taking not all the tracks. So I think he could have done something a little more aggressive here for Riera, but he doesn't have to push right now. Well done on that right-hander. Full throttle. He's going to be hard on the brakes here for that left-hander. Got to set himself up to get the apex, the most of it. This is a really, really tight corner. Anything can happen there. Then a slightly fast left-hander, and this is one of those semi-long section when you can take advantage of the speed a little bit. Oh, and he really brushed the wall on the left side. He didn't touch it, I think, but that was really close. I wouldn't have put my hand there. And another tight left corner, well done by Riera, but I don't think this is the maximum that we can see from him. Tight on the right-hander. Fast section here, DRS zone. Hard on the brakes, kisses the apexes. A little wide on the outside. Now good speed here, kisses the rumble strip on the right side, and we have a 126.7 for Riera. Now I'm going to try to go with Mills, but Mills was right behind him, and look at that, already 6/10 behind Riera. Who's there? Zeke Montero, right behind Josh Mills, and another 4/10. And Mills is in the wall after his hot lap. So that's not good at all. But he will be able to repair whatever damage he has done to his car. I'm following now Otto Acosta. And Otto Acosta is dealing with some traffic right now. Jeff Oppenheim is right in front of him. So what's going to happen with them? They're at the last corner. So I think he's not going to slow down. Might take advantage of that slipstream from Oppenheim in the Alfa Romeo team. And Otto Acosta, what's for him? 5th place, 128.2. So far, people are really well spread out. I did not expect that. I thought the times would be a little more bunched up together, but you know, it's still the start of this qualification. While these drivers are doing their slow down lap, I'm gonna go look on the live. And I hope we have a few people. So Adam Keith Freitas, who's watching? Go Cliff Van Leeuwen. Oh, Adam Keith Freitas, are you from Montreal? Are you from where Cliff is from? Because Cliff has a particular name, but he's actually from the province of Quebec. So I have raced with all these guys, says Adam Keith Freitas. Top-notch league. Janos runs a great league. True that. Seriously, this is a serious league. And I know about that because Jas used to be part as well as a serious league endeavor. And, you know, it's fun to be surrounded with people that really care about sim racing and put all their energy into it. And now we got no specifics. Of course you're here. No specifics. I hope you notice I put my North Carolina Tar Heel jersey tonight just for y'all. So now the cars are back in the pits. There's going to be another hot lap. And who's in the lap right here? Riera. And looks like he's already on a fast lap. So we missed the start of it, but we're not going to miss the end of it. Yeah, the speed he's going, I doubt that he's warm upping his tires. I think he's just running for another hot lap. But we're going to see this at the first intermediates. I mean, with the time he posted, there's no need for Riera to take that much risks. Although he can, you know, he can have a brand new car after that qualification. So, I mean, doesn't really matter if he crashes or not at that point. So let's see that. Well, looks like he was actually warm-upping his tires because he's going at it even harder. And that might be it, because in that circuit, even though it's a little faster in the corners than Baku, there's a lot of slow corners because, of course, it's a street circuit. So watching the onboard with Riera, hard on the brake, kissing the apex again. Well done. A little wiggle here, but we don't see that much wiggles from Riera, so this is a really rare sighting. Oh, wow, and really close to the right side. And there's traffic in front of him. I mean, they're not right there, but if they're going slowly because they're in an outlap, it might come into play. And we don't know about the dirty air. So that's his teammate right here, Ricardo Sr. I don't think he's going to pose any threat to Riera's lap. Otto Acosta as well, just going on the right side. So nicely done. Gentleman move from the two drivers here. And we see the color of our sponsor on top of the track and on the side of it. So another time, go see CarMagicPrinting.biz. Finishing the lap, left, real fast. Can he improve on his time? Oh, yeah, by 0.2 of a second. I mean, whoosh, well done by him. And what about Josh Mills right now? Josh Mills, fast, also right on the apexes. Nicely done by him, arriving at the end of the track, finishing his lap. Can he improve? 126.7. So, oh, wow. Okay. So he is exactly where Riera was on his previous lap. I mean, almost to the 1,000. So real well done from him. Montero on a hot lap, and I want to see where Janos is, because Janos is in 8th position, so that's not what we have seen from him so far in this part of the season. Usually he lurks around, 3 to 5th, so I expect Janos to bounce back pretty good. And Z Montero, 26.8. So that's a statement as well. I mean, these drivers are within 0.3, not even, of each other. This is a tough corner that we've seen. I'm watching Zeke Montero on the onboard. That's the corner where George Russell clipped the wall, and we saw Lando Norris clip it, but not as strong as Russell. Didn't ruin his race with there, but I think he frightened himself. Still following Zeke Montero on the onboard. I want to see, but the times are spread between 126 and 131 for Jeff Offenheim. Stefan Broderson has yet to post a lap, and he's still in the pit. So I think he might have just said he's going to start from the pit lane. That could happen. And now there's 25 seconds left in the quali session, and I'm trying to figure out who's on track. Sean Higgins finishing a fast lap. Can he bounce from the 17th position? Higgins... Unfortunately not. Glenn Cooper on a fast lap as well. The McLaren driver in 6th position as we speak. The McLaren drivers really need to get good results in order to jump Mercedes in the Drivers' Championship. This is crucial for them. We have seen great teamwork from the two drivers from the McLaren team. Very technical set of corner here that Glenn Cooper negotiated. And I understand a little more that you see the onboard about that little, wall on the right that you can easily clip when you're going there before you do that left-hander. When you see it from a spectator perspective, it looks like it's not that big a deal. But once you're driving, it's really like, it's in your face. You really have to go around it and think every lap not to nudge it. So let's go, Mr. Cooper. Now he's in 7th position. He has been bounced by, I think it's Richard Walcott that improved his lap. And Cooper retains 7th position. Lalancette for the Red Bull team. I think he's on a slowdown lap. What about Walcott? Looks the same so far. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody's pushing right now, so I think we're set for the qualification right now. Yeah, yes we are, because I think otherwise I'm looking at Richard Walcott, and if we're not set, well, he's not going to improve his lap on this one. So woo! Okay, good grid. So Riera in first, followed by Mills. No surprises there, I can tell you. No surprises there. Followed by Zeke Montero in 3rd position. Jean-Pierre Lalancette for the Red Bull team. This is pretty good for the Red Bull team because they're in a position to score, good points for the Constructors' Championship. So, I mean, it's going to be hard for anybody else. But Jean-Pierre Lalancette has had a lot of unlucky events too. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm touching wood here. The only thing is it happens with Mr. Lalancette. So I wish he can manage to avoid any troubles, because I said that the start finish or the start line versus the first corner is really tight. So you don't have much time to take advantage of you don't have a slipstream advantage or whatever. I think if a driver decides to go on a softer compound for the start of the race, it should be an advantage. Speaking of compound, I have yet to talk about the spec. The specter of the tire compound is the softest of all. So C3 to C4. This is going to be a 62 laps race. It's a mere 5 kilometers right underneath that. I think it's 4.940 for the length, kilometers that is, for the length of that track. So a long race, as I said, is going to be there's going to be a lot of focus I predict a few DNFs here because of the walls. The drivers will have to really to cope with a hard situation with tight corners and everything. So the warm up is about to start. We're going to have 5 minutes to get a little more familiar with the track. I know one thing: these drivers have practiced for 2 weeks now. Every time I go on Discord, these guys are right there just practicing in order to give you the best spectacle possible. So 5 minutes of warm up starting right about now. As I asked a little earlier, I would like people on the live to provide me with your predictions. Your predictions for the race, maybe do a top 5, something like that. I cannot pronounce myself because I'm neutral here, okay? So, and I hope Matt actually is watching, even if it is in Winnipeg. I hope you're just like not working right now and you're watching a good race on TV. TV that is our race. And you guys, you can talk on the live, you can ask me questions. I've seen some fun stuff about that track lately because I had to participate in a podcast, and it's always fun to reminisce or just remember whatever happened on that track along the years. And there was one thing that actually stood out. I heard, and I heard that in the previous podcast because I consume a lot of it. I like to be informed on Formula One and also Formula One history. There was a story, and believe it or not, that in 2008, Mark Webber suffered from a gearbox failure. And the theory about that is that when he goes at a certain part on the track, there is a metro ramp that goes underneath, and there would have been an electric interference. So his gearbox wanted to select 2 gears at once. The thing that brought that Texas up to before our eyes was that I think it happened to the second. The sister car, the Toro Rosso back then, in a practice, same place, and the train goes every 12 minutes. So, I mean, the timing could be there, although they didn't do any tests. That would make real sense. So that's a funny story about that track. And I think that when they do the Grand Prix, they're not running that Metro tram anymore, just in order not to interfere. Although they might have changed the technology and it wouldn't interfere right now. But that's what I heard. Don't take this 100%, but I mean, this is a fun story that I heard about that track, and I think it's very interesting just to mention it. Now, 3 minutes, a mere 3 minutes before the start of the race. That's what I want to see. I want to see drivers, in the mid-pack, or just maybe Josh Mills trying something bold with maybe soft tires in order to have the best start possible. Track position here is of essence. You need track position. You need to protect that. So strategies, undercuts might come into play. As we said, the tire wear is going to be massive. So we should see probably 2, maybe 3 pit stops like we mentioned earlier. I don't know if we have anybody on the live right now chatting with. Oh, there's a lot of chat. So I'll have to look at that when we're gonna do the warm-up lap. But yeah, the warm-up lap, sorry. And I'm gonna go through the grid and I'll try to read all your texts because there's a lot, but I'm happy that you guys are writing to me, because I feel a little bit alone since Matt is not here to greet us with his good sense of humor and his knowledge of the SimRacingHub F1 on RFactor. So I'm looking at Janos Magasrevi. Janos, on track, they're just mix matching because they're in the warm-up, so I don't have the proper grid start. But I think Janos is still around 7, 8, or no, I think he's like 8 or 9th in the starting order. So this is going to be good, I think, for the McLaren team. They need to score points on the Mercedes, but the Mercedes guys, I mean, if you don't have a good quality, that's something, but you can always have a good race. And these guys, they have good races most of the time. Although in Baku, they had their bit of bad luck. But, I mean, I don't think it's going to follow them here. So Janos is, warm-upping with a set of mediums. Remember that sometimes us on our screen, we see a color for the tire compound that does not correspond to the real compound. Usually it takes about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, or just a plain, a whole lap in order for the game to render the correct information for us. So in that case, I'll just wait to confirm any tire compound if I think the one I'm seeing might not be the right one. 18 seconds left on the warm-up session. So 4 kilometers, but pretty slow. I think I'll have time to go through all the grid order. And we got the 20 drivers. This is nice because I think last time in Baku we had 18. So out of the 18 drivers that we had, I think we had 6 DNF, if I'm not mistaken. So that leaves only around 12 cars, roughly. So it's fun to see. Most car you have on track, more battles you're going to have. I mean, that's easy math. So now everybody's back in the pits except János Magastrevi. You're right. He's in charge of the league, so he does not have to go into pits at the same time as everybody. Yeah, we'll have a chat with him after the race. So all the drivers are lined up in the pits. And I'm going to go trackside with my camera because that's what I want to see. I want to see exactly what you guys see so I can describe it better. So I'll be trackside looking at probably Josh Mills' camera myself, because if I see Mills in second, that means I see Riera in first. I can't wait for this race to start, seriously. Let's hope to have a good show. This is going to be box office. So for those who just joined, it's round 15 of the 2024 SimRacingHub F1 live on GTCQ TV. It's on RFactor2 platform on PC, and it is sponsored by Color Magic Printing, quality printing and fast turnaround that you can depend on. And they're on the grid. We're waiting for everybody to line up. And there it is. So the starting grid for this race, first position, none other than Argenis Riera leading the championship, followed by Josh Mills for the Red Bull team in second position, Riera being in the Aston Martin. So we forgot to mention Zig Montero in third position for the Mercedes team, followed by Jean-Pierre Lalancette, Josh Mills' teammates, with 2 Red Bulls in the top 4. Richard Walcott, real good quality for Richard Walcott, a great driver for the Ferrari team. Nice position, and I think Walcott, he was on the podium last time around, so he's really getting there. At the end of the season. Otto Acosta and Glenn Cooper, the 2 McLaren teammates. I don't think these guys are going to fight it out. They need the points for the Constructors' Championship, so it's going to be fun to see them around. János Magastrevi, the Mercedes, he wants to overtake the 2 guys in front of him at any cost. Well, that's what I figure. So let's see what János can do. It's going to be interesting to see whatever moves he pulls out. Darren Fisher in 9th position, followed by Bill Worrell in 10, another Ferrari driver. Señor del Fuego, Juan del Castillo in 11th position. Ricardo Senior in 12th. A good position for Ricardo Senior. Can score some points tonight for the Aston Martin team. That would be of essence to help his teammate. Followed by Captain John Cook. I think he wasn't there in the last race, if I'm not mistaken. For in 13th position, Richard Haney for Williams in 14th. Cliff Van Lee Ward. He has a fan in the chat, so cheer up for Cliff Van Lee Ward. Followed by Tony Mitsalis in 16. Sean Higgins from Color Magic Printing in 17th position. A driver that we like to see, and we usually see more up front, Elise Tate in 18th position. Unusual position start for him, although sometimes he's unlucky. We have seen that before, but it's not his usual starting spot. Followed by Jeff Oppenheim in 19th position, and Stefan Brodersen in 20, and that wraps up our grid. I'm going to go on the live, see what's going on. So Adam Keat and no specifics. Yeah, Mill's girlfriend here. We knew that. Oh, you're telling other people who you are. Okay. So, oh, there's a lot of things to read. So, I mean, I have to look at the race right now. So I'll be reading this in a few seconds. All right, the lights are about to start. Riera looks like he's on the hard compound. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights out, and the race is on in Singapore. A good start for Mills, but no, he's just going behind Riera. I thought he would overtake him, and they're almost side by side in the first corner. Is there any mayhem at the start midfield? No, a little 2x2, but no incident so far. And everybody's lining up quite good right now. And Riera already in front of Mills, but they might be on different tire compound. We're going to be confirming that in a few seconds. So Mills really close to Riera. Remember, it's first lap, so everybody's stuck together. So far, I'm looking at the mid-pack. There's no real battles. There's a little train. But these drivers on lap 1, they're going to grow. Maybe they're going to try to take advantage of this lap 1 traffic in order to gain a few positions. That's the best time to do it. Now Riera, okay, so I have a different information. Riera would be on the soft compound, which is a clever thing to do, not to botch a start and be eaten alive, as well as Josh Mills. So I understand now why they had a similar start. Walcott is right in front of Magasrevi, Cooper, and that's Del Castillo. So 4 drivers within a really, really thin margin here. That's what I'm going to be looking at, because so far the other drivers are just a little further apart each other. And now Riera and Mills. So DRS will be open on this lap. And Walcott is under attack by Janos Magasrevi. Janos Magasrevi already in 7th position. And what happened? Magasrevi overtook Glenn Cooper, but Otto Acosta is now in 5th position. So he gained a few spots at the start. And Janos is right on Richard Walcott's gearbox. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries something anytime soon. Oh! He showed his nose, but now he's just slitting. What Glenn Cooper? Can Glenn Cooper take advantage of that? Not quite, but almost. Janos almost lost the place to Glenn Cooper, and Glenn Cooper is going to be on the attack here. Also, Juan del Castillo is right behind Cooper, lurking in the shadows, just waiting for a thing to happen in order to grab 1 or 2 positions. So John Cook and Ricardo Sr. already in the pit. I don't know what happened between these drivers, but they might have had damage. Oh, that's unfortunate for Ricardo Sr. He started in 12th position. And Cliff Van Leeuwen about to overtake Bill Worrell on the inside. No, not quite. So what's going on? They have a little bit of speed, but they're just not completing the maneuvers. That shows you how hard it is in this track to overtake anybody. In some sort of a Monaco, but, a better. So Bill Worrell in front of Cliff Van Leeuwen, and they're arriving at the start-finish straight. But that's not long enough for them to take advantage of that DRS opening. So Cliff Van Leeuwen, Sean Higgins, following Bill Worrell, 4 guys within a tight margin. Richard Haney and Juan del Castillo. Okay, Del Castillo is in the pit, so I think they might have just done a lap on 1 compound and maybe just taking another compound in order to take advantage of non-traffic laps with a softer compound. Because that's unusual that you see a lot of people pitting at the first or second lap. Richard Walcott still followed by Janos Magasrevi. He's going to grow impatient. That's for sure. He's right on his gearbox, and look who's who's coming. It's Glenn Cooper from the McLaren team. So Cooper wants to gain back these positions. Well, this position, this particular one, because he needs to grab points from the Mercedes team. So while I'm watching the battle between Walcott, Magasrevi, and there's a battle between Cliff Van Leeuwen and Sean Higgins. Sean Higgins on the attack. On the inside. Try to outbrake Cliff Van Leeuwen hard, late on the brakes, but make it works. He's making it work, sorry. Impressive move by Cliff. I mean, it's not an attack move, it's a defense move, but a real impressive from Cliff Van Leeuwen, seriously. And Sean Higgins is still there. Elise Tate just waiting for these two drivers to make a mistake. That's another situation. I think these guys are all on the soft compound. That's what it looks like. I think it is. I'm not sure for Elise Tate, but and Janos Magasrevi now in 6th position overtook Richard Walcott. I've missed that, but I was watching another battle behind it. And Richard Walcott is back on the attack. And look who's there. Glenn Cooper just waiting for them to lose a little bit of time and maybe grab 1 or 2 positions. So a little bit of action here at the start of this Singapore Grand Prix. It's already lap 4 out of 62. And Janos has already three car lengths in front of Richard Walcott. And Glenn Cooper is getting closer from Walcott. So, but Walcott has DRS open, as Glenn Cooper does. And Elise Tate behind Cliff Van Leeuwen, and Van Leeuwen is not far from Higgins. So these guys are fighting to enter the points. So far, I haven't seen any contact with the walls. I'm not saying that didn't happen because a few guys went into pits. Might have been, Elise Tate is spinning. What did I do? I had to say it. And I jinxed Elise Tate. I'm so sorry, Mr. Tate. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I jinxed you. So now Elise Tate back. He's in 14th position. He can bounce back from that. We saw that in the past, right behind Tony Mitsalis. Higgins is protecting for Cliff Van Leeuwen, and Higgins just slid. So Cliff Van Leeuwen will have a run here. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes that position, but Higgins protecting on the inside. What can Van Leeuwen do? Well, just outbreak, but now he's off track. He's off. So Sean Higgins take that position back. In a set of corners that I quite enjoy because I've seen things like that happen in the past. So I don't know if it's slow corners, but I still like these 2 corners here. Sean Higgins protecting. And Glenn Cooper is still watching Richard Walcott from the close. I'm going to try to go on the live to see what's going on. So this track needs a few laps to ramp up the speed. Yeah, I think maybe the tire temperature might be a little bit of an issue here. So in just one warm-up lap doesn't seem to be the answer. So do we still get the 4 DRS zone? No specifics. Yeah, I think this is the info I have if I'm watching the track layout on the website. So I don't think they would put the track layout on the website with 4 DRS zones if they wouldn't use it. So my bet is that they are, and we can actually try to monitor that because I'm watching Richard Walcott and Janos because these guys are close. Tony Mitsalis and Tape are fighting too. So let's see Tape just try to figure out what corner he's in and count how many DRS zone he's in. Okay, so now they're here. We're going to start a lap and then we'll figure it out. Okay, so I see where they at right now. A fast left here. This is corner 9. A little stretch. They're going to be at the turn number 10, watching Tony Mitsalis and Elise Tate right now. Yeah. So those little corners here, and then that Yeah, that tight left-hander, and now you got a DRS zone here, and that's where we're going to figure out if they got the 4 DRS zone, because the DRS is going to be open here, and at the next right corner, if Elise Tate opens his DRS here, that means, yeah, we have it. So we have the four DRS zones. This is confirmed. So how much does track evolution comes into play in the sim versus real life? Actually, Matt could answer that, but we're going to ask our drivers at the end of the broadcast. So this is a good question. I was actually thinking about that in quali because of the tire compound getting on the track. We see in real life that it's really important, and it changes the speed. So if you're not in the last bunch, Tape and Metzalis still find it out, and Richard Walcott and Glenn Cooper, as I was talking, real close to each other. But yeah, well, that's a good question. We're going to ask our drivers at the end how much the track evolves during the race. So, okay. Oh, well, actually, yeah, Adam's answering already. Track E4 is a real thing in SimRacingHub, but it depends on what they started with. Okay. And No Specifics did drive that track, and it's her favorite track to drive. Okay. Well, this is the first track that actually had a night racing, so it's nice to see. Metzalis and Tape are closing. Tape on the inside of Metzalis. Good move from Tape on Tony Metzalis. Gains back a position after that unlucky break. Richard Walcott under attack by Glenn Cooper. So we have a few battles that are unfolding right now on track, and Janos is not far, so he's going to be happy that these two drivers are fighting, because he's going to have some breathing room in a few seconds. But look at that, Glenn Cooper right in Richard Walcott's gearbox. Can he make a move here? Maybe dive? Not quite. And what's happening with Cooper, he might be clever enough to wait so Walcott can actually catch Janos Magasrevi and then maybe take advantage of a DRS zone. Because if you fight, you're going to lose time, you're going to lose Janos, and you're going to lose the DRS advantage. Okay, so we have a prediction here by Adam Keith Freitas for the finish. So Mills will win the race, Riera second, Janos in third, Walcott fourth, fifth Otto Acosta, Cooper in sixth, Zeke Montero seventh, Jean-Pierre Lalancet in eighth, Ricky Haney ninth, and Cliff in 10th position. So Cliff is one position away. A few drivers here will have to DNF or have an event in order to have this happen. And No Specifics, always great comments. It's crazy all of the intricacies of the setup that goes behind fuel and pit. The drivers have the ability to make changes with the radiator, etc. So it's very impressive, all of the calculations. Yeah, go Color Magic Printing, of course. So yeah, No Specifics. Color Magic Printing, hook me up with a nice piece that I can put on my wall. I don't know the fabric of that, but it's soft. It's like waterproof. I've seen that before. It's the kind of thing they use sometimes to do banners for promotion. And it's a custom made with the 3 last tracks for the season layouts. So American Continental Circuits, COTA, Hermanos Rodriguez in Brazil, and you got the SimRacingHub F1 logo as well as the Color Magic Printing logo on it. So it's a great souvenir for that marvelous season that I had the pleasure and the honor to describe. So for me, it's going to have a nice place in my racing room that I'm actually improving right now. I just displaced everything. My studio has changed a little bit, so I'm pretty happy with the setup. And I'll show you some pictures as soon as I'm done finishing all of it. You're gonna see some pictures in the next race, probably in COTA, and you're gonna see the piece that they sent me on my wall near my racing seat. Of course, it's gonna be at a nice spot. So thank you again, Color Magic Printing. Watching Richard Walcott, Glenn Cooper, you got Cliff and Sean Higgins fighting for the last point. So Cliff is on the attack. Glenn Cooper behind Richard Walcott. Sorry, not Haney, but Walcott. Too many Richards here. Please. One person per name. Oh, so Tony races from Italy? Tony Mitsalis? Is he really racing from Italy? Wow. Okay, that's far. And I'm used to that. We have a few French friends that we race with, but usually it's around 7:30, 8 o'clock, not 9. So, I mean, these guys need to sleep at some point. But if he works by night, that would explain the fact that he stays up so late. So confirm that. If Tony Mitsalis, races from Italy, why isn't he driving for Ferrari or Alfa Romeo, for that matter? So now, not anybody under attack according to the overlay, but a lot of people close to each other. And Josh Mills in first position right now. Argenis Riera's in the pits already. So this could have effects on the championship. So Riera getting into pits on the early side here. So will Mills be able to do an overcut with the soft tires, or Riera's going to do even more of an undercut? So Riera, well, according to what I see, is soft tires, but don't count that for money. We'll have to wait a little while to be sure that this tire compound is the real one. Now, in the meantime, Janosch is in 5th position, but that's temporary. We know with the pit stops, every position is not really concretely certain. And Glenn Cooper right behind Richard Walcott. So this should be interesting. Maybe saving a little bit of tires here and there in order to be able to do an overcut, or just have better tires at the end of the last stretch. Every points count. And now I can't wait to see what Josh Mill does with his pits. Will he respond to whatever Riera did, or he will just do his thing? Riera has the fastest lap with a 31.0, but Mills has a 31.1. So these guys have exactly 1/10 difference. And now Juan del Castillo off track right behind Josh Mills, and looked like he was faster than Mills at a certain part. There's already a lapped car, so that didn't take long. And 18th position. I thought it was 10th, so I was quite surprised that they overtook 10 guys so far, but I misread. My apologies. So Mills is still on track. Now I'm going to go look at Riera's tire compound because I wasn't sure. It showed soft, but I don't think it's that anymore. What is it? Riera looks like he's on the hard compound. Okay, so that makes more sense. Yeah, so Mills didn't pull the undercut. So that's what I suppose he would do. Maybe try to create a gap with the soft tires. He's extending them quite well right now. And look who's there, Zeke Montero in 2nd position. So although Mills is going at it, Zeke Montero is coming pretty fast. And now look, Zeke Montero still going, but Mills in the pits. So let's see about Montero. Montero's on the medium compound, so that explains the extended stretch of laps for him. It's normal that he doesn't go there. Otto Acosta, Josh Mills. So Acosta as well on the medium compound, so no surprises there. Lalancette, JP Lalancette in the medium compound as well. So all these guys, normal, very normal to see them not pit. So I'm looking at Cliff, looking at Tony and Richard Haney. Richard Haney, a move on Tony Mitsalis, a real move because, oh, wow, okay. And Mitsalis really had to slow down because he almost lost control in the braking here. Good move by Ricky Haney from the Williams team. So, yeah, on the overlay, when you see some battles, that is just like people are in the pits and they're close to each other, so it's not really battles. But now, real battles, we got Janos Magashrivi, Walcott, and Glenn Cooper. So these guys are really fighting it out. Medium compound for all of them, and they're still in a pretty hefty fight. So can Janos protect that position? I mean, if you pull the protecting moves on someone on this track, usually it could work pretty well. Now Richard Walcott, instead of being on the attack on Janos Magashrivi, he's under attack by Glenn Cooper. That's a big threat. But now he's got the DRS open, so that's good for Walcott in order to defend himself. But these guys are within exactly 7 to 8 tenths of each other. And now Walcott is on Magashrivi's tail with the DRS open, but that's not a long straight. So just maybe getting closer to him in order to set himself up at the at the next sequence of DRS zones. And even like Riera, legitimately is in 7th position, but these guys have yet to pit. Now Riera is coming fast, and he's on the hard compound. So these guys are on worn mediums. Riera is on brand new hards. So we should make, an overtaking pretty easy. So, but these guys are in a fight. I mean, they're legitimately in a position. So they don't have to give anything to Argenis Riera. And who's going to take advantage of that? None other than Josh Mills. And Mills is in 8th position. He sees Ricardo Sr. in front of him. I don't think Sr. is going to be a factor. He hasn't been all season long. He hasn't blocked or did anything to make Josh Mills lose time, but Josh Mills is 6.5 seconds behind Riera. Now we got that train. So Riera could lose maybe all his advance with this little train in front of him. But Janos in the pits, so that's a car that Riera won't have to deal with. But there's still 2 cars, the cars of Cooper, and there's a lot of people in the pits. So Montero, Lalancet, Acosta, Magashrivi, all in the pits. But we're watching Cooper and Walcott. Now it's fighting for first position. But remember, these drivers, Walcott and Cooper, have yet to pit. And now Riera is growing impatient behind them. Let's see how the advance is melting. So now 6 seconds, 5.3. So, and Cooper doesn't want to let Riera go anywhere. So that is helping Josh Mills big time. Riera's losing a lot of precious time. As we said, track position is of essence. It's really important here. And look at that. Walcott in first, Cooper in second. These guys will pit in a few, maybe this lap, maybe not, maybe in a few laps. So the longer it takes before they pits, the more costly it's going to be for Riera. And now they're almost up at that corner. This is a really slow corner here. And Mills is now 4.3, so he's coming back strong. And what can Riera do to minimize that loss here? And look at that, Cooper's on the attack. So, I mean, Riera really has to compose with that. And so far, he has yet to find an answer. This is crazy. This is actually fun to watch. But now Walcott is in the pit. So now it's just Glenn Cooper. He can still fight Riera, but, I mean, this is not really his fight because he has yet to pit. But we never know. He might be on a different strategy. So, legitimately, if you make these tires, stretch out, this might be the real fight for first position. We never know what's happening. If a driver is not a lot behind, he's legitimately in this position. So he's going to sell his, life for a lot of money, I think. And now look, Riera, really wide. So he almost brushed the wall. So Riera went really close to a catastrophe here with Glenn Cooper protecting. He went wide. I don't know if that's going to affect the grip of his tires, but Cooper, has no complexes at all. Has no complex at all in front of Argenis Riera right now. But Riera's coming back strong. I mean, he's carrying a lot of speeds with these new tires. And look at that. Josh Mills has reduced the gap by 50%. So he's now exactly 3 seconds behind Argenis Riera. And Argenis Riera has yet to overtake Glenn Cooper. So if Glenn Cooper stays there for another, 1 or 2 laps, I wouldn't be surprised if Mills catches Riera. And Glenn Cooper in the pit. So Riera finally breathing some fresh air. Well, look at that. Mills within 3 seconds of Riera. But now, can Mills make that work? Can Mills take advantage maybe of that drop in the momentum from Riera? Not drop, because of anything other than maybe just being mad at the fact that he lost half of his advance, his well-deserved advance, because he really worked hard for it over Josh Mills. So now Mills really had to, keep his head down, hit his marks, and try to reach Argenis Riera. But already 3 seconds to 3.5. On the live. Yeah, the pits are going to be big here from Madam Keith Freitas. And Glenn Beard with Sergio Perez, Minister of Defense on Sim Racing tonight. Yeah, sure. That's about right. And Glenn Cooper is a great driver, teammate of the past. Oh, he used to be your teammate. Okay, yeah. So far, impressive from Cooper, whatever he showed us this year. Because I'm new to the league. It's my first year with the SimRacingHub F1 League. So I don't, now I know the drivers a little better. But when I started that a few months ago, I had no clue who was whom. So Stephen Broderson and Glenn Cooper are in a fight. So now, the pit stops are done and we're back fighting. So let's see the difference. Okay, if we have difference between the tire compounds, Richard Walcott, well, as I said, let's see what's going on. And Cooper is going to make a move on Stephen Broderson on the inside. That's pretty easy peasy from Glenn Cooper. Now Walcott is arriving as well. The thing is, don't take the Broderson going in the pits. So I think he has yet to pit. Oh, he clipped the wall on the entrance. He's really going slow. Okay. So we have a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm going to keep on talking about the race. Lalancette in 3rd position. So, we're back fighting so far. And we have legitimate fights on track since the pit stop just happened. So Lalancette in 3rd position, followed by Otto Acosta. These drivers are within a second, are 6 or 7 tenths of each other. And don't go anywhere. My producer Jess is just trying to bring the image back right now while for me, I see the race, but we're going to have the image back in a few seconds. In the meantime, so Riera is now back 5 seconds in front of Josh Mills. So that's not good news for Josh Mills, but the good news for Red Bull is that Lalancette is in 3rd position, although he's followed by Otto Acosta, who's in 4th position, only half a second behind him. All right, so I think we're back in with the feed now. So sorry for that. These things can happen on TV. And now, Sean Higgins and Elise Tate, DNF 3rd and 14. So something happened with these 2 drivers, but I didn't see what happened. So we got 4 DNFs: Cliff Van Leeuwen and John Cook, and now we got Sean Higgins and Elise Tate. What has happened between these drivers? We missed that. It's hard to see when you're watching a fight what's happening at the back of the pack, but something dramatic happened to Tate and Higgins, and now they're in losing positions from Jeff Hoppenheim and Ricardo Sr. that they're going back up in the ladder. So Lalancette and Otto Acosta is the fight that I'm watching right now. They're fighting for the last place of the podium. And Mills is 4 seconds behind Riera. So something might have happened to Riera. I think he lost about a second and a half. But now the accordion effect is growing. So he's back at 5 seconds. It's a little bit weird. And Juan Castillo in the pits right now. It's a bit weird sometimes that you see 4 seconds gap and then 5.5 and then reducing back to that 4 seconds. So it depends on the time zones on track. So Lalancette still in front of Acosta, not exactly under attack, that is, but Acosta is not that far. And he's going to attack Jean-Pierre Lalancette if he can in a few seconds. Other than that, Stephen Brotherson and Richard Haney for 11th position are almost fighting. Brotherson in 11th, followed by Haney. He's roughly a mere 0.6 behind him, so he will have the benefit of the DRS. Can he make that work for Richard Haney? On the inside, dive. Oh, that might have been something that happened to Tape and Higgins. We never know, because if somebody pulls a move there and comes in too hot, it can happen that these drivers just tangle together and then boom, 2 DNFs. I didn't say that's what happened, but maybe Tape can enlighten us on the live, because usually when Tape is out of the race, he comes here and chats with us. So if Tape's here, if Easy Tape is listening, please tell us what happened with you and if it was related to Sean Higgins while Richard Haney is passing Stephen Brotherson like it was nothing. Okay, he made short work of that. Riera still with the fastest lap of 31.08. Lalancette and Acosta close to each other, so Acosta on the attack on Jean-Pierre Lalancette. This is the fight I'm going to be watching for 3rd position. And you still have some back markers coming up. Mills still 5.5 to 6 seconds behind Riera. Lap 21 out of 62, so 1/3 of the race, a little bit above that, but not much done. So we have 2/3 of the race left. So we have seen already one sequence of pit stops, and now Lalancette is trying to get away from Otto Acosta, but Otto Acosta is saying, "No, sir, you're not gonna take your wings and just fly away with your Red Bull car." And Zig Montero not too far behind. So if there's a fight there, Oh, and Ricardo Sr. just going offline in order to let these guys go. So what's happening with Acosta and Lalancette? They're real close to each other. But if they slow themselves down, who's going to take advantage of that? None other than Zeke. But I think Acosta was right on Lalancette's gearbox, and he went a little wide, so he lost a little time here, about maybe 2 or 3 tenths. Unfortunate, because he was on the attack right there. I think Acosta is suffering from a little understeer, so we'll keep an eye on this. Other than that, Ricardo Sr. in the pits once again. Not sure what it was for. Looks like he's on the hard compound, but not a factor right now. Or not an R factor right now, for that matter. So look at that. Zig Montero Not too far. He can smell it. So does Otto Acosta have the DRS? That's the question. I think he does. According to the gaps I have on my overlay, he does. So he'll get close to La Lancette. And what about Zig Montero? Zig Montero was right on the verge of having the DRS on Otto Acosta. But now Acosta is right in La Lancette's gearbox. Arriving at the start-finish straight. So Acosta getting away from Montero with the DRS, but he's going to have that blockade from La Lancette, who's going to defend. Oh, La Lancette almost lost the car. Oh, he caught it back, but La Lancette, he almost lost the car in the wall. So that gives a chance to Otto Acosta to close the gap. And look who's right there, Zig Montero. So Otto Acosta showing his nose, maybe to make disrupt La Lancette. Try to make him, make a mistake, make a mistake, and then Zig Montero real close to these drivers. He's going to try to take all the advantages he can on them. Oh, that was a slow corner for everyone. I think this is the slowest corner on the track. I wouldn't be surprised. It looks like it is, just on paper. So look at that. DRS open, Acosta. This is a place where we have seen a few overtakings, but you have to really set yourself up. Now we're almost halfway through the race. Leading is Riera and Josh Mills, but these two drivers are in no man's land. And Acosta just getting away from La Lancette's dirty air, maybe in order to pull his tire. Remember, this race has the fuel issue as well as the tire issue. So I don't know which one's the biggest. I mean, tires, you can always change them if you're in trouble, but you're going to lose track position in a lot of time. But the fuel, you can't take more than what's given at the start of the race. So we really have to improve your consumption and try to make the most of it. Oh, and we got Elise tape, I think. It's Skystream. Nice Monza. Okay. Since Monza, everything went downhill, plus university doesn't help. Yeah, well, if your university doesn't help you, you should quit your university. You should have support from your university, man. I mean, yeah, Skystream is tape. Yeah. No, just kidding. But, I mean, what happened exactly, tape? Well, I know you get really unlucky on these races. We have seen things that happen to you that, were not your fault, but it's, as we say, it's racing. But in that particular situation, what really went down? Did you had anything to do with the DNF from Higgins? I just want to know what kind of incident happened. So not looking for a guilty party or anything here. But I just want to figure out because we missed it on this end of life. So that answer might arrive, maybe not. I mean, it's up to Mr. Tate to greet us with answers or not. That's his thing. In the meantime, still watching that battle, that three-way battle for third position. I mean, this is quite exciting and interesting here. Zig Montero, Otto Acosta, and Jean-Pierre Larancette in third position. And I miss Matt, usually describes the races, and it's fun. It's fun to have him around. So, okay, I can try a little bit. So, Jean-Pierre Larancette in third position, followed by Otto O-T-T-O Acosta. And then you got Zig Montero, and they're in a tight battle. Arriving at the 50 mark, La Lancette. Oh, I'm gonna let you pronounce it, Frank. Blah blah blah. In third position, and Darren DRSO. And O-double-T-O is not going to overtake Jean-Pierre Lalancette. Okay, so that was my impression of Matt Hartley, but roughly, I'm not really good with him. Although I got some other impressions under my belt, but I do better than that. So there's a driver coming out of the pit. I think that was Darren Fisher, if I'm not mistaken. Fisher. Is that it? Yes, that was. So all that trio from Zig Montero and all the rest of the field is not fighting at all. So what we can watch right now is really third to fifth and see how they cope with the situation. So Montero on the hard compound. O-double-T Acosta on the medium compound. And JP Lalancette, I think he's on the mediums as well. I have to confirm that. And we haven't seen Lalancette on the podium so far this year, so for him, it's a good thing. I don't think he's gonna. He will be willing to give that position easily. I mean, if I was in his boots, I wouldn't. Believe me. I mean, it's a thing to attack, but being able to defend in racing or whatever it is, Formula One, GT racing, prototype, whatever, being able to defend in a legal way is always also a fun thing to do. So now we're going to encounter a few back markers pretty soon. But these drivers are not giving up on each other. I mean, they're still really close to each other. And Walcott and Magastrevi are getting closer. We haven't talked a lot about Janos for a few laps right now, but Magastrevi, I mean, 8th position, that's not good for his championship points. That's for sure. And I'm going to try to get back my championship sheet. So Magastrevi in 3rd position, I mean, he's not going to get caught by anybody. So for him, even that 8th position is not going to hurt him in the championship. That's for sure. Now look at that. Lalancette, Acosta, and Montero are closer to each other. And look who's here. There's a back marker. That's Tony Mitsalis. So what's going to happen? He's in 12th position. Oh, wow, there's a pile up. Brotherson and Acosta. What's happening? Back marker. Brotherson is just in the way right now. And Acosta, he might have damage. He went in the wall, and these guys were fighting. And look who's coming. This Glenn Cooper in 6th position is going to take advantage of that. But does Otto Acosta have damage? Does Lalancette have damage? What just happened in front of our eyes right there? And Zig Montero almost losing the car at the last corner. So let me try to describe exactly what happened. That was Tony Mitsalis being the back marker. He was in front of these guys. I think he might have just wanted to go away from the racing line, but there was Stefan Brotherson right there too. And I don't know what happened with Brotherson. He parked the car, and then when he restarted, he clipped Otto Acosta, and they both went, they both kind of slid through the wall. And look, Acosta just got overtaken by Zig Montero. So I wouldn't be surprised if Otto Acosta has damage on his car, because now his teammate is on his in his gearbox. And we know these guys are not going to fight it out, but I mean, Acosta was doing a great operation so far, having a great race, and now the back marker endeavor just ruined it. That was at this corner right here. That was incredible. So I don't know what's going to happen with Acosta. Will he go into pits? Is there any damage to be fixed? That gives Lalancette a little breathing room, but Zig Montero is coming like a mad train. So and it's not over yet. And yeah, traffic is an issue, but I didn't think it would be such an issue. And look at that, Zeke Montero within DRS range, and same thing for Cooper and Acosta. So I don't know about the papaya rules for Cooper and Acosta, but so far so good. Lap 29, sorry, out of 62. So Acosta letting Cooper go. I think Acosta has damage. So I mean, he's not fighting. He's just letting his teammate go. Try to let them attack. I'm sure these drivers might be talking to each other. And that would be advised if they want to team up. That's some stuff that happens. Or maybe they're just used to each other. So now Cooper can go on the attack, but look, there's already a few callings between Cooper and Acosta. So yeah, definitely Auto Acosta probably suffers from maybe aero damage. So it doesn't show that much, but it is still there. So, all right, so we know now we have something. Someone lost his front wing in turn 5 and they ran over it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that wing came from Sean Higgins, but because Sean Higgins DNF'd in the same time as you did. That's what happened. Well, that's what I think happened. So was that the beginning of the race or another accident? Because oh, contact! Whoa! And look at that, Montero and that offset side by side. That's great racing we have there. So who's gonna be ballsy here? Lanacet on the trying to go back on the inside and contact again between the two cars. So Montero and Lanacet, wheel-to-wheel contact, and look who's there, right behind Glenn Cooper. Is there any damage between the Auto Acosta almost in the wall? I think he almost lost control behind there, but I'm not watching that too much. Lanacet and Cooper fighting it out. Okay, well, and look who's arriving pretty close. It's Auto Acosta, so Acosta, I saw him slide, but looks like he's gaining a little bit of time here. And who's just going away? It's Zeke Montero. He's running away with the third spot. So yeah, a few contacts between the drivers. That's a narrow track. Anything can happen, and a lot of contacts here. That's incredible. So yeah, you don't want any, you don't want incidents like that to be the factor, especially if it's with back markers. Now we're halfway through the race. And Cooper has a great corner exit. Can you make something work here? Well defended by that onset. And look at that, Cooper is in his gearbox. Nothing so far for these two drivers, so kind of getting away from each other. And that's the only battle we have. So Montero gaining some time here. And in the meantime, Josh Mills and Riera are 8 seconds apart. Riera being in front, Mills being in second. Now Montero is 29 seconds behind Josh Mills. This is the, I think, one of the longest pits, if not the longest pit in the calendar. But Zeke Montero is just running away with third position here. And what is that outset doing? So I wouldn't be surprised if like Auto Acosta in the pits. So Auto Costa in the pits, I'm going to be watching that because I want to see if he has damage. That's the thing. So that's what I'm watching right now. Lifting the tires, lifting the car, changing the tires, sorry. It's a little bit longer of a pit stop, but I think he's repairing these. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he had some repairs here and there. So Cooper and Lalancette still going at it. No real fight right now on track except for Glenn Cooper and Lalancette, but they have a little bit of breathing space, almost a second apart. So still in DRS range, but almost, depending, I mean, on the detection zone, it has to be within a second. And this is like either 1/10 above or 1/10 under when I'm watching the gaps here. Yeah, it would be nice. You're right, specific. So no specific saying. Like, it would be fun to see their fuel consumption and and tire wear at this part. As Glenn Cooper gets in the pits as well. Yeah, that's an information I think that we should be able to have. I don't think it's available for us, but I know in other games it is. It might be a setting that they don't want to see. They want us to see that. We never know. Janosch and Glenn Cooper. Okay. So Janosch is passing by the pits. So yeah, another set of pit stops to go before we have the real picture of whatever's going on in the race. But yeah, just in the infography, just having these news or these informations about the tire wear, the fuel situation would be big, because we could speculate on anything, and also see who's doing a better job of keeping the tires and keeping the fuel. So Bill Worrell coming coming back at Glenn Cooper. Bill Worrell, I think maybe has yet to pit though. I'm not sure about it, but that would make sense because he was nowhere near Cooper before the pit sequence. And Brotherson, Del Castillo fighting behind for 13th position. Let's see what's going on with that. I think Del Castillo has like soft tires and Brotherson has hard. So I wouldn't be surprised if Del Castillo makes short work of Stefan Brotherson. Brotherson not even concerned by that. Oh, what happened with Stefan Brotherson? Went too far. But wait. I think he's not alone. I think he's not. Del Castillo as well. So Del Castillo overshot the corner. So did Brotherson. And they were fighting for 13th position. I don't think they touched though. I think they just overshot the corner at the same time. That's what I think happened. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that was unusual. Very unusual. Bill Worrell in the pits. Now Zeke Montero is really going away from Jean-Pierre Lalancette. Lalancette was comfortably installed in third position. Now he's 7 seconds behind Zeke Montero. He turned the table upside down, I can tell you that. Walcott and Magashrevi within, 2 seconds of each other? So that's not exactly a fight that... Oh, Del Castillo and Brotherson. That's the fight back there. And look who's here. Josh Mills tried to navigate through that traffic here. Again, these guys are in a race of their own. So Del Castillo wisely just going away from Josh Mills, but Brotherson not far behind. And that's the real battle for him here. So what else do we have? So Del Castillo, right behind Josh Mills. He has a set of soft tires. Mills is on the hards. On the live, no specifics. Okay, so no specifics says, I know the drivers can see how they manage to set up after practice laps and stuff, but yeah, it'd be a cool little settings to put up stats and make predictions. Of course, I think, you know, maybe it would be legit for us to ask Janos what's up with that. That is the, okay, so that is the info you do not want to share. I understand that. So from the driver's perspective, you really don't want others to know where you're at on this situation. And this is, at some point, legit, because, I mean, but when you watch a race on, oh, Del Castillo sliding, whoosh. I mean, he really Singapore drift this one. And I think he's having issues with his tires, Del Castillo, that is. But yeah, but I mean, when you watch a real Formula One race, they can give you like a fair glimpse of whatever's going on with the tire wear of anybody. So I think the other teams, they know, but I think nobody knows 100%. In the game, you would know 100% because it's a game. But in life, sometimes you can like think that he has this amount of wear and actually made better work of the tire strategy. But no specifics. I'm a full believer in clean hard racing, and I agree, dude. It could end to as insight that could maybe be exploited to someone's advantage, but yeah, which we will. So yeah, a lot of data in this sport. So yeah, I mean, it would be fun for us to know, but it wouldn't be fun for the drivers, for other people to know wherever they are in the race. So Walcott and Magasrevi close to each other. We're back in racing. And Magasrevi within 0.6 of Richard Walcott. And Walcott will have to protect from Janos. Janos will be attacking normally at this pace, I think, I would say 2 laps. And Magasrevi right on Walcott's tail. So that's the battle we're watching. Midzales and Fisher behind there as well. So there's 2 battles right now on track. But for a major position, this is Walcott and Magasrevi. And I think Magasrevi is going to try a move right here. Can he make that work? Yeah, hard on the brake, and Magasrevi, almost out, almost went too wide and side by side on these 2 corners, but he's got the inside. Oh no, Magasrevi in the wall. Magasrevi in the wall. Does he have damage? He's still in front of Walcott, but Magasrevi clipped the wall with his front wing and front tire. Will this be dramatic damage for Janos Magasrevi? Oh, look at that. I think he's suffering from that hit. He might be losing a part, but not sure right now. This is incredible racing. I think he bounced back from this. And now Magasrevi about 0.7 in front of Walcott, but that almost cost him his race. While protecting his position, went real wide, front left wing and tire in the wall. That could have been dramatic. I don't know about the damages. We'll see at the next pit stop, but unfortunate for Janos Magasrevi, but still retaining 5th position. So didn't look like it really cost him. So now Midzales and Fisher close to each other for 11th position. That's another good battle. And Walcott and Magashrevi still fighting, but a little less close than Menzales and Fisher. Fisher on the outside of Menzales, attempting something, not making it work right now, but it's not over yet. And Menzales a little wide. Fisher can take advantage of a better relaunch, I think. So that's the fight I'm watching right now for 11th position. Tony Menzales with Darren Fisher. On the live, similar to the one on the main F1 broadcast that shows where all the cars are in the lap. Yeah. So Josh, Riera, Montero are aliens. Yeah, pretty much. But Montero is still 25 seconds. Now Mills is 5 seconds behind Argenis Riera. So he has cut a little time on the leader while we're watching Walcott and Lalancette. Okay, Lalancette in the pits. So that's why we had a close gap. But Menzales and Fisher, they haven't said their last words right here. And yeah, Menzales and Fisher. So can Darren Fisher go get that 11th spot? We're probably at the last pit window right here. Riera just did the fastest lap in a 1:30.7. Mills is 5 seconds behind him. He has a purple second sector. So Darren Fisher on the inside of Tony Menzales here. And Tony Menzales almost losing the car, going too deep in the corner. And that's done for Darren Fisher. I don't think that was his fault on Menzales. And now Josh Mills at 1:30.3, which is the best lap, just snatched it from Argenis Riera. So now everybody's in no man's land. And we're going to be looking at the pit stops soon. And so we have 5.8 between Mills and Riera. Nobody close to each other so far, but this should be changing during the pit stop sequence. Lap number 40 out of 62. So you're watching round number 15 of the SimRacingHub F1 Championship on RFactor2. You're live on GTCQ TV. Zig Montero almost hit the wall with his car, and you're sponsored by Color Magic Printing. Color Magic Printing, quality printing, and fast turnaround that you can depend on. And thanks a lot again to Color Magic Printing for that gift. Really love it. And you guys want some custom things about racing, but about anything else, they can print on t-shirts, mugs, posters, papers, pens. I mean, anything you can think about, they can print it, and you can customize whatever you want. Go on the colormagicprinting.biz to see and to browse on their website whatever they can do for you, your business, for special gifts on Christmas. Christmas is coming soon. It always arrives pretty quickly. So if you start right now to gather your Christmas gifts, you're going to absorb it better on the longer period. So I think I already know what I want to give my dad. I think it's going to be maybe a nice piece about Gilles Villeneuve, and I think I'm going to order that for Color Magic Print. So Riera got back the fastest lap again. These guys are going to fight to get the fastest lap. All the points are counting between Riera and Josh Mills. But now if Riera stays like that, he's going to improve his advance from 7 to 14. And it's going to be really hard for Josh Mills to catch that gap unless something happens to Argenis Riera. And we know he's not exempt from a disconnection or just an incident. And it happened between the two in a Red Bull ring. Also, a lot of things happen between these two drivers, and or just by themselves, disconnections and everything. Bad strategy on Riera's part. We saw that in Imola. So that was a really eventful season. And Z Montero hitting Ricardo Sr., trying to pass him. That was a bit precipitated, but now Senior is just letting him go. But Montero, I mean, I wasn't sure that he had the inside line cleared by Ricardo Sr. I'm not sure Sr. was expecting Montero to take that inside line right away. I thought he might have been waiting for the exit of that corner. So I wouldn't blame Senior for that. Montero just wanted to pass Ricardo Sr. as fast as he could in order not to lose that much time. Cooper and Walcott are getting close to each other just a tad, but not enough to be much of a concern. Stefan Broderson in the pits, but this has no implication on the fight at the front so far. So Zeke Montero, yeah, he's in the real no man's land right now, being 34 seconds behind Josh Mills and being 8 seconds in front of Walcott. So yeah, no need for Montero right now to be in a hurry to pass back markers at the risk of just jeopardizing his race. And just trying to figure out where to watch, but Glenn Cooper is on a mission, getting close to Richard Walcott. I mean, these two, I think, have a lot to say to each other. So, and a battle McLaren-Ferrari? Oh, we haven't seen that since, I think, the Raikkonen and the Hamilton years. Before that, it was Schumacher and Hakkinen. So, Cooper. Yeah, going faster, trying to catch Richard Walcott. Cooper for the McLaren team, Walcott in the red Ferrari. Lap 43, so less than 20 laps to go. Josh Mills 9 seconds behind Riera, so that thing increased. Well, Glenn Cooper is going on the inside of Richard Walcott. Wow, we made short work of him. I didn't expect that to be that soon, but well done by Glenn Cooper. Great move. Those are good points for the McLaren team. And look who's coming. It's Otto Acosta as well. He's on a mission. So I think Walcott is going to drop a little bit. And if Otto Acosta can grab that 5th position, this is going to be good for the McLaren team because, look, now Schumacher is in 8th position. Zeke Montero was in front, but still in 8th position. That's not good points for the Mercedes team. So for the Constructor Championship, the team championship, sorry, this is going to be good news for the McLaren teammates. So I'm going to be watching Walcott here because he's about to be under attack from Otto Acosta. Otto Acosta on the soft compound. If this is legit, very nice battle unfolding here. And Otto Acosta within striking distance. And he's on the soft compound. Walcott is on the hard compound. So I think he's just a sitting duck right now. Walcott, that is. But Otto Acosta, I mean, the window of performance of his tire is not eternal. So he has to make that work real quick. And I think this is going to happen now. They're side by side. And Acosta on the brake. Not a problem. Even if Walcott's just try to come back at him, I think he's not going to do it, even though he was real close. So now the two McLaren drivers, 4th and 5th, and that was a good piece of racing that we saw. But now Acosta should get away from Richard Walcott. We have to print a Color Magic car livery? That would be nice, actually. Well, I'm sure if we had the Color Magic printing logo in the game I'm playing, I could do a Color Magic printing livery for sure. It wouldn't be hard. Yeah, Riera's insane. He's built such a gap. Don't tell your boyfriend. I mean, yeah, Riera is just, he's in control. This is incredible. And look at their fastest lap is just like 600 of a second apart of each other. So that is not a lot. And Ottawa Costa, 5th position. Glenn Cooper. Now, oh, Tapiala set in Walcott. Okay, no, somebody's in the pits, which is Walcott. So Walcott has just done his last pit stop, I think. Oppenheim right there, but not a factor. Janos getting, okay, so Janos in 7th, and who he just overtook? He overtook Walcott. So I don't know if he still has a pit to do. But we saw that the soft compound was working very well. Now Cooper and Acosta are getting close to each other. And that's actually the closest we have for two drivers for a major spot in the race, although I don't think they're going to fight it out. Cooper and Acosta, both of them 112 and 110 points on the Drivers' Championship, respectively 4th and 5th. So exactly as they stand right now on the track, that's their respective position in the championship. So Magus Trevi at 192 unreachable, and Zeke Montero 95. So if Montero stays there, he's going to get closer, to Acosta and Cooper. So these drivers are very well within reach of Zeke Montero. So Montero is doing a good operation. So, okay, Mills knows, yeah. Oh, yeah. So strategically speaking, Mr. Adam Kefreitas says there are better visual sims, but for the racing feel and strategically, okay, well, speaking. Sorry, I'm French Canadian, by the way. Okay, so sometimes I have issues. RFactor is the best. I did not know that, but it's fun to know. So, and Mills also plays a Zero Corsa Competizione. Yeah. But from a spectator standpoint, I like RFactor. I like the images. I mean, it's a computer game. I see like, I think they could do something a little better with the images, but I mean, when I watch this kind of race, I'm not even bothered with the graphics. We have to talk about it for me to be bothered. I mean, I'm bothered with the spectators because they don't move, but I mean, if they were moving, this would probably put the game a lot slower. And we want faster games. We want fluid games. We want to see the racing. I don't care about whatever the spectators are moving or not. I mean, as long as the stands are full, and Ricardo Sr. is here, so we have seen some back markers being a factor here. And look, I mean, he just got out of the way, but they almost touched. So it's really hard to cope with these back markers. I think you got to be careful, not to be too in a hurry, in order to not avoid crashing your car. And look at that, Josh Mills with a 129.9. So Josh Mills back with the fastest lap, and now he's 6 seconds behind Riera, fluctuating still, but so that's still 4/10 faster than Riera's fastest lap. Lap 48 out of 62. No major battle so far on track. Riera leading, Josh Mills second, Zeke Montero third, Glenn Cooper fourth, and Otto Acosta fifth, followed by Lalancette, who was on the third step of the podium at some point. Okay, so Acosta in the pits. So Otto Acosta will be in the pits. I think, well, I see some soft compound tires. Can Otto Acosta take these tires, go to the end, and perform? Now he got overtaken by Janos Magasrevi. So now Acosta's on the mission of catching Janos Magasrevi, and he's going to do that exactly because I think he's about 1.5 to 1.3 seconds. So this is what I'm going to be watching for now, unless there's something better to taste on track. Otto Acosta with a fresh set of stickers going on sorry, Magasrevi. And Richard Haney might be in the way as well. So there's the back marker factor here will come into play. So we got to keep an eye on this. Yeah. Putting that fast lap. So let's see how Riera can answer that. So Haney, not a factor here. And Magasrevi under, how is it? There's a threat right behind them. I can tell you that. I don't think he's going to be able to defend for much long. So Acosta needs to be patient. He knows he's got Magasrevi right where he wants it. So Acosta still behind Magasrevi here. How long can it take before he overtakes him? I think it shouldn't be that long. I'm even gonna say this lap around, because the soft compound has such an advantage on the hards. Oh, that's close to the wall from Otto Acosta too. Oh, well, the lap is coming to an end, so I don't know if he's going to be able to make that work as I predicted, but otherwise it shouldn't be that long. And you got Jeff Oppenheim as a back marker coming in front of Janos Magasrevi. And now he's in traffic. So Oppenheim, I think, just going to go away, not being a factor as well. Yeah, well done. Good gentleman move. And now look at that. Otto Acosta on the attack on Janos Magasrevi. He's going to work him. But not quite yet. Acosta in the dirty air. Turn one here. Not quite yet again. So what's going to happen? Acosta right behind Magasrevi. The distance between the two is 0.2 of a second. I think this is going to happen now. On the outside, Magasrevi won't be able to defend. Oh, yeah. They outbroke him and they touch. So bang wheels, still side by side. And Magasrevi still in front of Acosta. But Acosta's trying the inside, still side by side. They touched again. He almost squeezed Magasrevi. Now Acosta in front of Janos Magasrevi. These guys almost crashed themselves with this fight. That was incredible. So I don't know if there's any damage sustained here, but for a mere 3 or 4 corners, these drivers were side by side. And Magasrevi, I think, might have touched the wall. Let me see. I think Magasrevi has damage. And Riera is arriving and about to lap these guys. Wow, this is incredible. Can Riera lap up to 6th position? This is just crazy. So we're keeping an eye on Janos. Okay, he's letting Riera go, going on the bump, but I mean, what's going to happen with Janos? Don't know if there's any damage, but Richard Walcott is in striking distance here. And, I mean, this is not over. There's still like 10 laps to go. So I'm not sure Janos is not... No, I think he's in trouble. I don't think he's safe right now. So that's what I'm going to be watching now, how Richard Walcott makes that thing worse. So Janos using Jeff Oppenheim as a buffer between him and Richard Walcott, but I don't know how Janos can sustain all this pressure. Josh Mills still has the fastest lap. So Magus Trevi, can he survive? And look who's coming. Josh Mills in second position. So he's going to have another car lapping him. I don't think his teammate will be able to do that, though, because he's 38 seconds behind Mills. But yeah, Mills and Riera, 6 seconds apart from each other. So that's quite close. Now, Josh Mills arriving. I think Janos is going to just going to go, but look, Walcott is getting even closer. So that's really not a good thing for Janos Magastrevi, even if that's a good gesture and the gentleman move to do for the front runners. He's jeopardizing his race. Although we mentioned it earlier, I mean. He's not going to be reached, I think, in third position. That would be a super long shot for any drivers to catch Magastrevi. And we saw Otto Acosta having the best third sector on the was it on the last lap? Yeah. Oh, Magastrevi real wide. So. I mean, I'm looking at Janos, and I'm sure that he has mechanical issues or something related, and I wouldn't be surprised if he either ends up in the wall or gets overtaken by Richard Walcott. So that's the closest cars on track so far. Josh Mills is in within 5 seconds of Argenis Riera, and this guy, these guys are going to fight it out. And Walcott Magastrevi fighting side by side. Magastrevi not yielding, not giving anything to Richard Walcott. Can he make it stick? And yeah, Magastrevi keeps his 7th place. But now Ricardo Sr., traffic here, getting out of the pits. Magastrevi trying to cope with that. Richard Walcott passing by Ricardo Sr., so not a factor, but almost was. And now Magastrevi on the right-hand corner, followed by Walcott. Walcott's going to want that 7th position. So Walcott is in 7th position, and he needs some points to get back at Zeke Montero. So Walcott, real wide at the corner. Don't think he got pushed by Magastrevi. We saw that happen a lot, just going wide at that corner during the race. But Walcott is going to come back within striking distance pretty soon. Still, that's the only battle we have on track right now. Everybody else in no man's land, and up to 6th position, everybody's been lapped. Lap 54 out of 62. And I'm going to keep an eye on the gap for Josh Mills and Argenis Riera. Now Walcott's got the DRS, but not quite close enough. Just setting his car up in order to setting himself up. In order to be able to do that move at the best moment possible on track. Yeah, so on the live, Janos has damage. That's what Adam Keith Freitas tells us. I bet most of their cars are lit up like Christmas trees with damage. So I reckon if you have damage, you see the your car on the the screen, either left or right, and you see your parts glowing. So Walcott in the wall, Richard Walcott in the wall. Exactly where Magus Rivi touched the wall a lot of laps ago, but that's what happened to Richard Walcott. So I wouldn't be surprised if Walcott has the exact same damage as János Magus Rivi, and that's going to cost him dearly. Now János, not under attack from Richard Walcott, not sure what's going to happen, even though he's got damage. If Walcott cannot attack, well, I mean, this battle won't have any other chapter to it. And Josh Mills still with the fastest lap with something like 3/10. So passing the start finish line, lap 56 out of 62. Riera leading on Josh Mills, Zeke Montero in third, Glenn Cooper fourth, and Jean-Pierre Lanos at fifth. And Magus Rivi and Walcott still fighting. Okay, it's not over. It's not over. Maybe not that much damage for Walcott. Maybe more damage on János's part. So that's an exciting battle that we have here close to the end of that race. Can Magus Rivi protect that position? That's the question. And how much damage does he have? Because we got Freitas on the line that tells us that there's probably a Christmas tree before time in Magus Rivi's part. Yeah, what about the fuel too? No specifics. Asking. I wonder if the low fuel light is on yet. Well, maybe Freitas can answer us at that point if he's done that race. He knows, like, if you see the light at this amount of lap before the end, are you in trouble? So that's the question. János still defending that position pretty well. The other drivers are nowhere near the action. We got another DNF, Juan del Castillo. We have missed what happened, but that's another DNF, so that's unfortunate. And Walcott right in Magus Rivi's gearbox. Not done yet, though. Lap 57 out of 62. There's a long straight here. Can he take advantage of the slipstream and or the DRS? Not quite yet, but he's not going anywhere. Oh, wow, Magus Rivi in the wall. Magus Rivi in the wall. Again, in the same corner that Walcott did, and previously Magus Rivi did as well. So what's going to happen with the wheel right there? And how come are they hitting that wall all the time? I mean, the tires must be worn like crazy. And Walcott, I think, slid a little bit. Maybe not. Oh, and Lancet and Acosta, they're close to each other as well. So we got another battle coming into play now for fifth position. Otto Acosta coming close from Lancet, while Magus Rivi is trying to defend from Richard Walcott and Walcott on the attack on the inside. So, yeah. I think he's going to be able to do it, but maybe a little deep. So Magus Rivi coming back on the inside, side by side. They touched. Magus Rivi trying to keep that position. And Walcott got the seventh position now. And what about Lancet and Acosta? Lancet right in front of Otto Acosta. Acosta's going to attack. He's going to be attacking. He's on the inside of Lancet. Side by side in the corner. Did they touch? I don't think so, but that was real close. And now Magus Rivi back on the attack for Walcott. Wow, this is crazy. 4 to 5 laps to go. Magus Rivi on the attack of Richard Walcott. Mercedes versus Ferrari. Now Walcott protecting. Remember, these two gentlemen hit the wall at the same place by overshooting the corner, exactly that corner here. And Lalancette and Acosta not even close to each other now. I just wanted to make sure there was no battle there. And I mean, these guys are the traffic that Riera and Mills have to negotiate with. So 4 seconds separating Mills and Riera, that too could be a factor. These guys could be a factor in the championship race, even if they're battling for major positions at 1 lap behind. So Walcott now alone. Where's Magasrevi? Not even close. So I think maybe the damage has done enough damage. So now nobody within striking distance of anybody. So we came from at 5 laps to the end, from 2 major battles up front to now everybody in no man's land, 3 to 4 laps to the end. Oh well, I gotta say that was quite exciting for a little moment. And we never know what's going to happen now. Riera is coming at the rear of, behind Stefan Brotherson. Stefan Brotherson, we have seen him being a factor earlier, so now Riera knows better. He took his time in order to overtake. Now Lalancette is 6th position right behind Riera, so everybody till 5th position has been lapped. I mean, behind 5th position has at least a lap down. 5 DNFs so far. Juan del Castillo, Sean Higgins, Elise Tate, Cliff Van Leeuwen, and Captain John Cook did not finish that race. They retired their car. Other than that, Josh Mills is 3 seconds behind Argenis Riera. So I think that traffic really caused Riera. And now you got another back marker. And remember, Tony Mitsalis and Stefan Brotherson are the 2 cars that almost cost the race to the front drivers earlier, because I think they were too surprised by whatever happened on track, and they tried to get out the way, but I think they parked their car. Look at that, Mitsalis is just in front of Riera, so that's a bit dangerous. But now it's done. But Mills is still 3 seconds behind Argenis Riera, and Janos is in the pits. Janos is in the pits. I mean, I think he just couldn't cope with the tire and the damage. So he took a set of soft, according to the infographics here, and maybe he's gonna go for the fastest lap. I wouldn't be surprised. So lap 60 out of 62. Now Riera back in 4 seconds in front of Josh Mills. Incredible racing that we had at the end of that race, but now I think Riera is just cruising. Otto Acosta in front of him in 5th position might be lapped before the end of that race. That would be crazy. Like almost everybody lapped except the podium, but it's not done yet. What do we have on the live? So 2.2 liters equals 1 gallon. Okay. So yeah, tires and fuel could drop off for someone on the last lap. Oh, you guys are talking liters and gallons? Ugh. Here in Canada, we work in liters. So, but we know what a gallon is. So lap 61 out of 62. Now Mills 6 seconds behind Riera. Something must have happened. I don't know. I hope he didn't touch the wall or anything, but he's real close to the wall. Wow, Josh Mills almost collided with the wall. So I mean, yeah, he's got the fastest lap, so it should it should remove that. Just that point would be important in the championship. But Magus Revi has the fastest first sector right now, so he might be doing a little Daniel Ricciardo type of thing here and snatching the fastest lap at the end of his race. Now, last lap here, Riera negotiating, but we're keeping an eye on Magus Revi with the sectors here. So Riera about to win that race, and Magus Revi again with the fastest second sector. So I wouldn't be surprised if, but Riera has the fastest first sector now. So what's going to happen with that fastest lap? Can Riera pull this off? Watching him right now. Wow, he's really on it, negotiating, really close to the walls, almost arriving at the end of the lap. Can Riera make that work and do the fastest lap right before the end? And Magus Revi's got the fastest lap now, and by a fair margin. So can Riera make that work? I think he's a bit too far, but we never know. We never know, but almost there. So the last corners, and that's another victory for Argenis Riera. Not quite close enough to get the fastest lap. Now Josh Mills 12 seconds behind Riera. I don't know what happened at the end, but that gap has increased dramatically. But Josh Mills, securing the second spot, followed by Zeke Montero negotiating that tight left-hander. So Zeke Montero negotiating the last meters before the end of that race. Not quite there yet. But it shouldn't be long. So he was 34 seconds behind Josh Mills. So that explains why he was so far behind. And now arriving at the last corner for Zeke Montero, wrapping up the podium. Well done for the Mercedes driver, Zeke Montero. It was a ringer. Now he's a regular for Mercedes. What about Glenn Cooper and OWTO Acosta? So fourth for Cooper, and he's far away from Montero as well. So all these drivers that are on the lead lap, far from each other, far apart. So Cooper, fourth place, and Otto Acosta, last corners as well, fifth place. And that would put, I think Jean-Pierre Lancet has finished. So everybody else a lap down, which is just incredible. And what about Janos Magus Revi? Yeah, okay. So they might have finished. They're negotiating some corners. Not sure if they're still racing. That's the point. So Janos is in the 8th position, and he's got the point for the fastest lap. And I'm going to go on board with him. Yeah, I think he might still be racing. Or, no, coming back in the pits. So, okay. Whew, this is done. That was an event. I mean, we had a few laps on the no man's land, but other than that, sometimes there's just a surprise battle and everything comes into play. Thank you, No Specifics. And thanks, Color Magic Printing, of course. Yeah, thank you very much. Sean Higgins and Color Magic Printing, great company. Fun to have them on board. Woo! Okay, so that was another tight race at the end like that. So these battles, all the contact with the walls for Janos, for Walcott, I mean, a lot of emotions. And I mean, I really thought I would see front wings on the ground and cars retiring. So this is going to be a question for them. The damage. What does it do to the cars? So questions. Yeah, if there's questions you want me to ask them, well, I mean, Freitas in the chat talked about the improvement of the track, but we're going to talk on the with the drivers on this particular token, and of course the damage. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, it's a sim, and I understand that there's a percentage of damage sustained with the car that they're capable of taking. But I was sure these cars were done. Seriously. So I'm waiting for them to come on the Discord channel for the interview. And now we're gonna have before that we're gonna have 3 races left every 2 weeks. So in 1 week, we're going to be in Austin, Texas at the Circuit of the Americas. In 2 weeks' time, Matt Hartley should be there with me to describe that race that I really like. Seriously, this is a fun track, Coda. So I'm looking forward to broadcast that race. And before we interview our drivers, I want to thank Jazz in the booth for producing that. We had a little technical difficulties, but it's nothing that he has never seen. I've seen Jazz doing some miracles with broadcast troubles, sometimes doing things with other servers and things. I mean, he's a magician. So yeah, good racing. For Josh Mills, that's unfortunate because we thought if he had the win right there, that would have put the championship exactly even, or maybe 1 point apart or 2, depending on who's got the fast lap. But the fast lap is not even to one of them, and it counts. It's in the top 10. Janos has it, so well done on his part. I think he lost the position, but he would have lost maybe more because of the tire situation. And that means this car did not have that much of damage because of the crashes that he sustained, because they were always crashing their car at the same corner. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been, I'm trying to figure out, but I think it might have been corner number 8 that they were always like close to the wall like that. So that was quite hard. So far, nobody's showing up for the interview. I mean, nobody wants to talk to me. Oh, that's what I was saying. But yeah, looks like I got someone here. All right, people are joining. Finally, I thought, I was feeling a little bit alone here. Hello. Do I get Riera, Montero, and Mills? Guys, congrats. What a race. I mean, there was, I got to say, Mr. Mills and Riera, there was more action behind you than in front. But at the end, I saw that Josh was catching Argenis, and also the thing that really struck me in that race was the traffic. So we had a question. I'm gonna ask first the question that No Specific asks in the chat in the live, and you guys can all respond, but I'm going to throw it to Argenis first, and you can answer. How, in quality, how does the track, or even during the race, how does the track improve with the laps? Does it improve with the the rubber, the track rubbering in? Does it improve on the time, or it's not a factor in that simulator?
No, I don't know. Maybe the rubber was to the max, but the only thing was the track temp. is a bit lower than in practice, and I didn't feel the grip on the track with the soft tire. I don't know, some weird in quali. In race was better. The soft tire worked better than I expected, so that was good.
Yeah, soft tire was much better than medium, but I don't think the track evolves much in qualifying. It
Okay.
kind of steps up more from all the practice laps we did through the week.
Okay.
And by the time we get to qualifying, it's just, it kind of stays where it is. Doesn't really get any better. It's just about nailing that lap.
And,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
For my part, I don't feel any improve of the rubber of the track. I feel the car same all the time, and a little moment with the tire overheat, you lose the rear, and what happened to me the lap 20 13. I don't know what lap was, but it's very tricky.
Oh, okay. And there was a thing because you guys, except for Zeke Montero, you guys didn't really have to fight. I mean, Argenis and Josh, but I saw that the gap between you. I don't know if you probably see it somewhere, but on my overlay, I see that it was sometimes decreasing from like maybe 8 seconds to 4 or 6 to 3, depending on the time of the race. But at the end, Josh, you were really close to Argenis, but maybe 3 seconds at some point, maybe a few laps before the end, and then it dropped dramatically to 12. So what really happened there? Was it just you like, okay, well, I'm not going to do any risks and try to jeopardize that second place, or something just happened? You brushed a wall, you had damage, or you encountered traffic? Well, what happened with that?
When the gap was down to 3 seconds, it was just Argenis caught traffic. They were hard to get by, and when I got to them, it was hard to get by. I kind of caught them in that narrow section of the track, and I thought maybe if I could clear the traffic, I could push for another 2 laps, but I don't think I would have caught him. What was your second question?
What was it? Well, it was one question. It was like 2 questions in one. I was just wondering if it was
last lap.
Yeah, well, yeah, that gap increasing, that 12 second, was it just nothing happened? You were just lifting off?
I was having to save fuel.
Oh, okay, get it. I get it.
Just to make sure I can get back to the pits, because we have a rule after the race. You have to finish your in lap. So I probably would have made it without lifting, but just wanted to make sure so I don't get a 2-place grid penalty next race.
Yeah, that's safe, clever.
Yeah, that's why the gap went that far.
Gotcha. Okay, and about Argenis, I saw that the traffic, we just talked about it, but at some point in the race, I don't remember if it was you, because there was a lot of cars there, but I think you guys encountered traffic, and that might have been like Mitsalis and Brotherson. There was 2 cars blocking the way. I think they just tried to get out of the way, but in the end, they kind of were there. But I'm not sure it was for you or Janice especially. I think maybe Josh got involved in there, or Zeke. So how did you guys find the traffic, especially in that race? Because it was not always easy to go by them. So was that a real problem for you? And at the end, I think I saw you guys being really smart about it and be patient, because sometimes I think Zeke, you wanted to dive at some point on one of them drivers, and I think it was Ricardo Senior, and you pointed yourself and I think he didn't expect you. So starting quickly with Argenis, how did you find the traffic? And Josh can answer and Zeke can answer at the end, and we're gonna wrap up with this.
Yeah, the traffic was a bit bad today, but well, the track is very hard to in that sector with that corner. I don't know. They leave for break on the racing line, so I had 3 moments, almost crashed with the lapped car, but nothing happened.
Yeah, very tough. It seems like you always caught them in sector 2, and
yeah,
going over that bridge, I hate that they have to let us by after a few corners so they don't get a penalty, because that's the worst spot to like slow up and try and let someone by, because it's so unexpected and you're on the limit there, so it's very hard to go around people. And yeah, I've encountered a few lapped cars on the racing line going into braking zones and stuff. So yeah, tough out there today, but I think that's just kind of the nature of the track. So
I had a moment with Ricardo Senior.
Yeah.
I think he braked too early, and I did a lot of mistakes in the brake. So I think I will crash.
It went close. Man.
Yeah. So I think it's the unique part of the race. I had a problem with the lappers. I don't remember another situation. Only that.
Got it. Well, there was. It's unfortunate I couldn't question some of your teammates, because I saw Janos hit the wall a few times, as well as Walcott. So we were talking in the live about all the damage. But kudos to you guys. Great podium. I mean, 1 to 5 finished on the lead lap, but everybody else was lapped. We're going to have Circuit of the Americas in 2 weeks, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I'm sure you're going to practice starting tomorrow, probably. So thank you for being here and answering my questions. Matt is going to be with me next week, so he's going to have some questions of his own. I mean, not next week, but next race. Some questions of his own. It's a little bit late, guys, so I'll let you all go to sleep and take a good rest after such a demanding race. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, everybody in the live. Thanks, Jas in the booth. And especially thank Color Magic Printing for sponsoring that race, and everybody on the live for supporting me during that race. So I'll catch you guys in 2 weeks' time at the Circuit of the Americas. You're watching the SimRacingHub F1 Championship. This was round 15, so with 3 races to go, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Thank you, mate.
thanks, guys.